Oh,
I'll get closer to
no,
you.
I'm sorry.
How's this? Can I just... No, just stay there. Don't move. Just
Okay.
How's
I will.
this?
Yes.
How's that?
Just
Good?
like this.
Awesome.
Well, this is recording, right?
Yeah, it's recording.
Perfect.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
Just,
Love your
just
hat.
fix this up. Thank you.
Fix it up. That's great.
Oh, thank you.
Very nice.
Thank you, Sebastian. Thank you. I showered today.
I showered yesterday.
Oh. Yeah, I'm blushing like hell now, huh? Awesome. Nothing like a red face interview. What's going on, guys? We're here at TchCon 2016. I am here with Mr. J.Micheal Tatum.
Mr. J.Micheal Tatum.
Esquire. I almost said Tato. I would have had to totally just restart the interview there. We're here to talk about voice acting, mostly.
All right.
Because just to kind of get to the non-voice acting stuff out of the way, you were in a Doctor Who fan series.
Yes, Doctor Who, the soldier stories.
Yes.
I'm a voice actor. I pronounce things well.
I could have seen all this coming.
By the High Council of Gallifrey, UCT 293, alias Matthew Davis, have been found guilty of 4 counts of genocide leading to the extinction of the Polaris solar system. How do you plea?
The High Council of Gallifrey? You don't know, do you? To the aforementioned charges, guilty.
Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh goodness!
How it happened and stuff?
I played kind of the bad guy who was a Cyberman in disguise, who was also a therapist. Why not? And it was about the series focused on this character who was a Time Lord, not the Doctor, but a more militant Time Lord, who's kind of almost in many ways the inverse of the Doctor. Very, very much about protocol and keeping things straight and going up and being violent. It was very kind of a dark take on the Doctor Who universe, and it was really fun to be part of it. Really fun.
Is it over or is it?
At the moment, I think it's still up in the air. It's a fan series, so those things have to film when they can.
I understand.
But it was really fun to get to be part of that because of course I've been a big Whovian for a long time, and when my guys that did it were like, "Hey, do you want to be in it?" I'm like, "Yes, okay, oh my god, yeah." So it was a lot of fun. Also fun to get to play a Cyberman.
Nice.
Because I feel like you have to, bring your A game to play a robot.
Yeah, for sure. So I want to focus on voice acting. Because I feel like there's a lot of people that come to conventions are either aspiring voice actors or are voice actors in their own right.
Right.
With YouTube series or what have you. Is there a funny story on how you got started in voice acting?
It's kind of funny. I was tricked into it, if that it sounds funny. I've been an actor for a very long time. I did a lot of stage and on-camera stuff when I was a kid, and then got out of it because it was kind of it's a hard business to maintain, especially when you're young. So I kind of got out of it and had more steady working in a whole other field for a long time, and turned away from acting, and then just happened to know a guy that worked at Funimation, Christopher Bevins, who's been with Funimation as director and an engineer and writer and actor, all of it, wearing a lot of hats for many years for them. And he and I had been friends for a while, and both comic book nerds together. And he said, "Hey, I'm working on this show called Samurai 7. I'd like to try you out for it. And I used to act. Would you like to try again?" And I was like, "Oh no, I couldn't possibly." And fortunately, he doesn't take no for an answer, so he got me to come in, and it was like a 4-hour-long audition, which completely blew my mind. I'd never ever heard of the audition process taking that long for one little thing.
Yeah.
So I just thought, this is insane. And well, okay, whatever. And I did it, and convinced that I was really terrible, I got out of the booth when we were done and signed a bunch of what I thought were NDAs. I didn't read them very closely, which was my first mistake. And I made some comment to Bevins about how do you people get anything done here at Funimation? It takes you 4 hours to audition every single part. He was like, "Oh, it didn't. It actually took 5 minutes, and we just recorded the first 6 episodes, and you signed a contract, so screw you, you're an actor." And that's how my career in voice acting started. And then suddenly,
awesome.
just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Shout outs to Christopher Bevins.
Yeah, Christopher Bevins is responsible for all this.
That's
so blame
awesome.
him. Blame him.
Yes,
He unleashed me.
Blame
upon
him
the world.
for Kyoya and Sebastian and France, and the list goes on.
And the potato famine.
So, you said you've been acting for a while. How old were you when you got started in voice acting?
I was 6 or 7 years old. I did somewhere in there. I was very little, and I was in a play. My very first play was The Velveteen Rabbit. It was a kid's production, and I played the rocking horse because I was the tallest kid who auditioned.
I got you.
And so I was in this little group of little bitty kids. They're all doing all with people on stage with us having our line. It was adorable, and I loved it, and I did a lot of stage work for years and years and years.
I got you.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah, and voice acting.
Voice acting I've done for that now, I guess, the past 12 years. Voice acting I'd never touched before 2005.
Wow.
And that's when I did my first Funimation. I had no concept of how voice acting worked.
Right.
I mean, I knew it was done, but I lived in Dallas, still do, and I had no idea that there was such a strong VO market there.
Yeah.
So I thought, really, I can do this? Well, that's cool. And I decided, I think voice acting got me back into acting in general because it's so much, not to say, it's very challenging in many ways. As an actor, it's very challenging, but on the business side of it, it's a little easier. It's not as big of a time commitment. You can do more gigs in a single day than you can if you're on camera.
Right.
It's hours and hours and hours makeup. It's fun, but it's very, very time consuming. Similar with stage. I mean, stage is very much a poor man's art. Like it's impossible to make a living on stage unless you're living like in New York or something. So I just was like, well, this is a great VO market. I'm just going to stay right here and do stuff for Funimation and do commercials and cartoons and video games.
Yeah.
We did Borderlands 2 and we did a lot of Smite down in Dallas and Battleborn. So it turned out to be just I was in the right place at the right time. And got to be, a pretty successful voice actor.
Yeah, for sure.
Just by sheer luck.
So the question that I've come to ask, I've interviewed so many voice actors, how do you, what is your process in coming into a new role? Like, how did you walk into Sebastian, for example?
It depends. It varies. A lot of time, particularly with anime dubs, you don't have a lot of time. And I've learned a long time ago to just sort of let go and go in with absolutely no idea of what you're getting into. It's kind of the improv yes and philosophy. Just yes and whatever they throw at you, just go yes and now what do I do? But I knew a little bit about Sebastian. I knew that the show was very, very popular, and I knew the basic premise of it, and I knew they were looking for an accent. So I walked in and said, well, I'm going to play him like this, and looked at his some of the sides and his pictures. And kind of got a feeling of what he would sound like, and just which is what everybody does. It's just the game is, does my idea of what he sounds like match up to the director's? And in Sebastian's case, it did. Okay. So a lot of times I've learned to just not. I honestly don't even know what I'm auditioning for until I go in to do it and look at the sides, because I find. I learned when I was first starting out that if I had an idea of what the show was and I fell in love with a particular character and got really, really attached to them, it just breaks your heart when you don't get it. And 9 times out of 10 you don't. Yeah. So you just have to kind of let go and have this sort of Zen-like detachment and go like, I have no idea what I'm trying out for. I will find this character cool. Let's establish a quick relationship with this dialogue and go in and do it. And then it really kind of is. That's a good metaphor for it. And then you walk away and I completely forget it until I'm called or I'm not, and then you just keep on doing it. And as an actor, regardless of whether it's voice acting or on camera or whatever, your job is mainly auditioning. That's what you spend about 80% of your time doing. Right. And you just have to learn to be like, all right, I'm at a 99 now, so this 100th one is bound to hit, And that's the job. It's like imagine your job being interviewing constantly, all day, just you interviewing for the job you want. And every day, all day, every day at weird hours. Like you may get a call at 6 o'clock at night going, hey, can you be somewhere at 9 for this? They want to try you. They want to test shoot for this. And do you happen to have a blazer that's brown or whatever? Yes, I do. And that's the actor's life. Can you ride a horse? Yes, I can ride a horse. And you immediately get on the phone with someone going, teach me how to ride a horse. And because I have 3 hours to learn how to ride a horse up a tree.
Up a tree.
So it's a weird life. So I just kind of go with the flow, and I've learned that there's no mystical thing called a character that you're like, oh, this I'm going to put it on and become it. Like, it just comes from you. You just do what's there, and because somewhere inside of me there's a demon butler that wants to steal a little boy's soul. Somewhere inside of me there's a guy that was on swim team and really good at butterfly after sinking. There's somewhere inside of me there's all those characters. I just have to find where they are and just get out of my own way.
Right.
So that sounds really mystical and BS, I know, but it's so true. You just kind of get in there and you do it, and the character comes to life.
I understand. Just the final thing I want to ask is, where would you say for aspiring voice actors, where would you have them start?
Well, I consider voice acting to be just one facet of the whole acting thing. So I would suggest everyone who wants to get into any kind of acting start on stage doing workshops.
Right.
Because that's the granddaddy. I mean, that's where you learn the terms. That's where you learn how to just establish, a relationship with the material. That's where you learn how to read a script and to, audition. I mean, that's the granddaddy of all. There are on-camera workshops where you can start, but frequently the instructors will have a stage background or use the language and expect the people in the workshop to have some working knowledge of it. And I think it's just acting in general. Voice acting in some ways is a lot harder than other types of acting, in some ways much easier, but in this respect harder in that when you're in front of a camera or on stage, you have a lot to help you bring that performance to life. You have costumes, you have other people that you're working in real time with, you have the atmosphere of the sets, and it can be very daunting at times, but it still helps you create the reality for yourself, so then you can communicate it to the audience and invest them. When you're voice acting, you're utterly alone. You don't even have your whole body to use because you have to be relatively anchored in front of the mic and not move too much. And you might, sleeve rustling might spoil the take, so you have to be careful how you move, even if it's a really violent or very animated scene. So it's kind of like voice acting versus, more traditional types of acting, like on camera and stage, is kind of like being a carpenter and being told, build me a house, but you only get to use a hammer. You have to, your whole performance has to come through your voice, and it's really difficult. And if you don't have a background in on-camera or stage work, it's impossible to learn how to do it on the fly.
Right.
So,
all right. Well, thank you. That's all I got, man.
Well, thank you
so much for your time.
You're welcome. Let me just fix that.
Thank you so much. He's good at this.
There you go.
That's how you got Sebastian,
Well
right?
done. Right, that's, I just tied the director's shoes.
You're hired. Well, until next time, guys, I'm Frank Wak.
And I'm J.Micheal Tatum. Well, you knew that because he said it. I'm just going to, bye. I'm going to go.